that's you know really happened.
Good evening, one and all, and welcome to another edition of Cop Talk. It's Thursday nights, 10 o'clock. You know where you're supposed to be, ready to go, yeah? What you call it, your drink and your popcorn, sitting there, tootsies up, we're good to go, man. Good evening, Dr. Blake. How are we doing, sir?
I'm well, sir. I'm well. Just realising that winning away from home in Serie A isn't for all English teams in the Champions League. So
tell them, my brother. Good evening, Stoney. How are we doing, sir?
Not bad.
I'm good. Listen, Dr. Blakers has come out with them prime Mike Tyson jabs just to start the show off there, boy. So it's yeah, listen, I'm good. I'm just looking forward to this Thursday.
Continue, man. That's what I say.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you.
I'm
in a good place.
You saying, Demas, a good point away there for you, man? Hey, tough point away for you. 6 defensive players on the pitch. Yeah. See what the tactics were there.
And hoofball as well. Hoofball to Havertz.
Good evening goes out to CW. Nice to have you on board, sir. Yeah, Davis, you know, man. You know how it goes. You have to have a certain pedigree when you get to the Champs League. You know what I mean? Certain pedigree. Don't worry, man. You'll get there one day. But for some peoples, I told you, man, we don't shim. Win, lose, or draw. We'll be here. Bare talk about, are you still going to be doing your show on Thursday after the result on the weekend? You know what I mean? You're still going to be there, right? Yes, man. We're here. Thick and thin. This is why we say you'll never walk alone. That's how we do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Yes, we are. We are. As I said, we are. We will. We're not going to shim, brother. We don't hide. Big shouts goes out to Des B. Nice to see you the other day, my brother. Thanks very much for joining us. And yes, we will most definitely start off with that horrible result as well as performance on the weekend against Notts Forest. So, one of the things I'm going to start off and ask you, gentlemen, we was talking about before the game, and I know a lot in our WhatsApp groups, there was a lot of talk of he needs to change up the side. Is he going to start the same side? And we had the same side again. Do you think that was an issue? From the last 3 games previous to that, and he's played the same basic team again.
Go for it, bro. Go for it.
That's cool. I don't think it was RT. I don't think it was going to be an issue. I recall when you asked the panel about what we would have liked the starting lineup to be against Nottingham Forest. I think I was actually clear in saying that I wanted Slot just to make sure you had the same players there. And I'm glad he actually did. And I'm going to explain why. All right. Yes, we've got a big squad. He's still trying to find the rhythm. We are not part of Liverpool's coaching staff. We don't know what level some of these players are physically or understanding the way in which Slot wants us to actually play tactically. So for me, I was actually really happy with the lineup that we actually put out against Nottingham Forest. I wouldn't have changed anything personally. We didn't get the result that we wanted to, but your initial question was, would I have changed anything? And the answer is no, I wouldn't have.
Okay. Ross?
Yeah, listen, I thought it was a bit crazy, some of the post-match feedback about Liverpool showing disrespect to Nottingham Forest and Slot's found out. Slot was too arrogant in his team selection. I'm just like, hold on. The manager has started what he considers to be his strongest 11. Like, how can that be arrogance? Like, if the players look tired or lethargic or anything like that, fair enough. But that's not why we lost the game. And I just thought, Slot's at a point where he played what he considered to be his strongest 11. And obviously it didn't work out. But I don't think rotation was the issue at all. Or should I say a lack of rotation.
Okay, so were Forest that good then, or were we just that poor?
I think personally, I think it. Go ahead, Ross. I apologize. No, go ahead, Dr. Blake.
Okay. I was going to say, kind of, for me, Forest have got some good players. The way the Premier League is set up now, Premier League teams, even those who are at the bottom, can go to mid-table teams in Serie A or Spain and take their best players just because there's so much money in the actual league. Forest have got good players, and they've got players who are suited to playing on the counter. So I think Forest were good, but let's just keep it 100. Like, we were poor. And it's probably, since Slot's come to the team, to the club, it's probably the least amount of prep he's had with the team. And I guess, as we'll get into it later on, they just fell into bad habits. It felt like very much like this was just not a Slot performance. So we were terrible, and Forest were blatantly good. Like Hudson-Odoi, he's got quality. Who's their attacking mid? I always forget his name.
Gibbs White.
Yeah. Baller. Like,
yeah. No, he is a baller.
Yeah, man. They got good players, but ultimately, we were poor, man.
Okay, Stoney.
Yeah, I thought what was quite interesting is, and I know we're going to come into the AC Milan game, right? But Forest actually played the same formation we did, which is a 4-2-3-1. Same thing Milan did. Nottingham Forest's players were able to get into pockets, and we were not able to capitalize upon that. And I think that was one of the striking things from the game. So for me, Jota started as our main outlet up front, but I think he's Brazilian. Is it Morelio? He's good. Doctor, and that's what I was going to say. If people have the opportunity to actually watch back on the game, Jota is a cute player, right? Morelio did an amazing defensive job on Jota. I've never seen a defender actually close down Jota like that in the way in which he did. Jota was not able to make any runs behind or in between Morelio or the other centre-back pairing. A lot of it was from left to right. And sometimes you have to give credit to how an opposition sets up. Doctor hit it on the nail of the head, right? I want Liverpool to win every single game, right? We had 11 professional players put out there, but so did Nottingham Forest. And sometimes you have to give credit to the opposition. In my opinion, and as he said, if anybody's got the opportunity after the show, not during the show, after the show, I think the goalkeeper was man of the match. So as much as we probably didn't probe and press and have as much as shots as we probably would have liked to, their goalkeeper was busy. That means we were in the conversation. So that's why I was saying, Artie, I am not upset about our performance. If anything, the same team to an extent was put out against Milan, and we bounced back and we had an amazing performance. We've played 5 games this season. We've lost 1. It's not the end of the world. We just continue here.
Okay. So CW says, completely agree with Stoney. I was happy with the lineup. I thought it wouldn't be a problem, but it was a problem because the players weren't at it. Simple as that. Slot didn't mess around with the slubs either. He used to go, by the way, lads, me and Stoney agreed last week and I stayed in the house the day after the show. Absolutely no chance I was getting out. I'm going to do the same again tomorrow. SB says Slot is still learning about the players. Now we will start making a few more changes. Some players travel around the world, so the intensity was slightly down. Forest did their homework on Slot teams, struggling against a low block in the Dutch league. Good evening, Amit. Nice to have you on board, sir. Very much. In the Forest game, Salah was the main culprit. He did not beat the fullback once.
Actually, he did once, but it was 1 out of 5 times, and they're terrible stats.
That's disgusting stats for a player.
I was just about to say that, but Salah was. I mean, it's nothing new because we know that the level of performance from Salah means that opposition teams will sometimes make adjustments to their tactics to prevent Salah getting into those dangerous positions. But Moreno, who's the left back, and once again, I'm going to say about Morello and also Ward-Prowse, because Ward-Prowse played in that game as well. Sometimes they were tripling up on Salah. on that game. So reason for me why Charlotte wasn't really getting much change in that game.
Okay. So, and our subs didn't really have much impact either.
Yeah, I was gonna say the subs didn't, but I don't necessarily think it was their fault per se. I just think, as I was saying about my first point, Slot, I think it was after the Brentford game, they asked Slot post-match about, like, you made a really good, or was it the United game? I can't remember. Basically said to him, like, you made a really good start to the season. How is it that you've come in so far? And, pre-season was great. And he made a great point. He basically said, the thing with pre-season, why it was probably easier than what people thought, was because with pre-season, it wasn't with the established first-team players who have played a lot of minutes under Klopp. So therefore, they may be slightly easier to coach than some of our established players. And I just felt, including like down to the subs and the first 11, it was just way too rushed. Like, we're getting the ball, Trent's and Hollywood balls, it's hero balls, it's these Salah's making runs, and it's these passes in behind to Mo. As Desby said, he said he didn't beat his fullback once, but he beat him once. Like, us just going so direct to Salah every time, and realistically, at this stage in his career, he does not excel in beating his fullback. He excels in getting a bit of space and separation and showing a bit of class in terms of his passing and his shooting, but it was just frantic. And even on the subs that Slot's brought on, he's basically gone 3 at the back, so it's going to be like 3-2 and then a 5. The 2 centre backs, the 2 defenders either side of Virgil, they're playing like fullbacks. They basically got Virgil 1, then I think it was Costas on the left, who's playing as the left winger. The right-sided guy next to him, I think it was Bradley. I was just like, what is going on? Just show a bit of composure. And as we will talk about with the AC Milan game, composure. Listen to what the manager's telling you. Stick to the patterns of play from the back, and we will do it. Whereas against Forest, how many times did Trent lose the ball playing Hollywood balls? And straight away, it just puts us under pressure because the team aren't set up to be losing the ball like that. The team is set up to lose the ball for the center of the pitch if you play through the lines. But I just felt the players just didn't listen, and it's fine. They've been coached by Klopp for the last, 7-8 years to play a certain style of football. So, like, when you're under pressure a little bit, they just kind of went back into their bad habits.
Okay. I still don't think that's acceptable, though, man.
It's not.
They
need to go,
and not against Nottingham Forest as well, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Like, you're a big team, you're a big boy team. You know what I mean? Then you're going away to in the San Siro against AC Milan, and then playing like that. You know what I mean? You got to show a bit more desire and a bit more heart against all teams, man. For me, all teams. I don't care whether people think, oh, I'm kind of saving my legs or saving myself because I want to play in the San Siro. You know what I mean? And then this is what happens. For me, you need to give 110 in every single game. I don't care who you play.
But do you think it was heart and desire, or do you think it was just a lack of quality in terms of like application?
I think it's a combination of both, to be honest. I think it's a combination of both, to be honest. All right, because this is what I'm going to ask next anyway. Then, all right, then, who did have a good game?
Stoney, go on.
Yeah, no. I think it was one of those. And Doctor, you mentioned the same thing. I think against. It's quite interesting because the games with Nottingham Forest and Milan were so close together. The contrast in the way in which we placed both games is like night and day. We, going back to what Doctor was saying, and I know our main focus here is about Nottingham Forest. We did just seem to be rushing the game, and that didn't seem. What was a little bit disheartening for me, that didn't seem the way that Slot had been asking our players to actually play. I think Szoboszlai wasn't really able to get onto the ball in the Forest game, and as I said, I don't know whether it was because Yates and Ward-Prowse weren't giving him space. I don't know whether his runs or the tactics that he was given weren't aligned to how Liverpool wanted to play. I felt Mac was in and out of the game as well. The same thing with Diaz, and the same thing with.
Man is saying Yates and Ward-Prowse is not giving him space enough. Yates and
No,
Ward-Prowse.
trust me. Listen to me,
Get out of here.
Artie. When you have an opportunity to go back and watch the game, Szoboszlai had no space to play.
I said, rise to the occasion. You understand?
You can do that.
No one can stop
you. Can do
you.
that. Listen, bro, I'm telling you, I don't think Artie, Szoboszlai ain't heard that dub plate, man. That's why he can't rise to it.
When man is calling Tuchel Mania or something else like that, I might say, all right, fair enough.
I'm being honest. Artie, he never had no space to play.
I forgot his name again. R&B singer.
No, believe me.
What's his name again?
When you watch the game,
I've forgotten his name. Who we banned from saying that name, JWP. Oh gosh. Tabriz.
Oh, Tabriz.
Yeah, you sounded like Tabriz, bro.
No, listen, I'm just calling it how I saw the game. And Szoboszlai had no space to play in that pocket that he likes to play in order to manipulate, making sure he's getting the balls out towards Diaz or Salah or getting that ball through to Jota. He had no space to play. And as he said, he is an alarmingly intelligent player. And we've seen that. And I'm just going back to what I said originally when I was asked the question. Sometimes, just sometimes, you have to give credit to the tactics of the opposition manager. And I just think Nuno got it right in certain pockets of the space. I mean, certain pockets of the game. That's just my opinion. Seriously.
See, I'm a bit more with Artie like that, but for different reasons. I don't think Nuno's game plan was that great, but I think it was all right. I think.
Well, he nullified us, though.
But I think that was because we were poor as a team tactically because these guys didn't listen to Slot. And individually, there were some absolute shockers. I saw a stat, something like Salah, Trent, and Szoboszlai gave the ball away about 80 times between them. Like, it was appalling. Like, the level, just the individual level was appalling. And then Trent goes into midfield to replace Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai comes into the team to replace Max. So that's your first red flag. Why are we having to put Trent as a 10 and Szoboszlai like as a 6 in the fourth game of the season? So straight away saying Hughes and Edwards, it's time to get the checkbook out, because at no point after 4 games with no injuries should we be having to do that. There should be a top centre mid on the bench who's ready to come on. So we know we've got work to do in the transfer market as well. But I just think, yeah, man, these guys just did nonsense. Trent's playing like he's Roy the Rovers, or what was that old school match day thing? Was it called Striker or one of them? There, Trent's playing like some madman and just hitting long, but it was just too much. Just composure, build up for the center of the pitch, find the pockets, make it happen. What I would say though is, I think we missed Harvey Elliott. I think it was a Harvey Elliott game. Somebody who's good in the pocket, good in tight spaces, can do his thing. What's actual time?
See the way
I see.
Just
the
Iron
Bulls made 2 appearances now, mate. I tell you, hey, this Iron Bulls getting famous, Prince.
You better sign him in a Prince. Like, you better have signed him, bro.
I'm telling you, bro. Oh my gosh. So further to what you're saying, Doctor, and that as well. CW says, I think Slot took the wrong players off with the subs. I think the big players were lucky to stay on the pitch.
Yeah. Mo was garbage. Szoboszlai was garbage. Trent wasn't very good in my opinion at all. But yes, I don't know if I would have done anything differently, because Mac needed to come off. So unless you're going to bring on Jones, who hasn't played any minutes yet, then I think subs that he did made sense. Maybe he could have put on Darwin a bit earlier. That could be an option. But unfortunately, although Darwin's got, a large percentage of the fan group really are backing him, and members of this panel as well, but some members aren't, and for obvious reasons. Because let's just be real, so far he's been garbage. He's been garbage.
Listen, we will be getting to that as well. We
So-
will be getting to Darwin a bit later. Don't worry about that.
Slots not Jesus, man.
Even after the Forest defeat, I was confident of a bounce back in Milan game. With Milan very poor defensively in all their games so far.
I was worried, but I not lie.
Drizzle is saying, no. Is that the excuse for the Forest result at home? Players saving their legs for the San Siro. Desi saying also, when you play teams lower in the food chain, they get confidence when you don't score early and no one goal could win it, and it did. Very, very true. Brilliant
Yes.
point there. No, it's very true. You give a team hope. The longer the game goes on and you haven't scored, they start growing in hope, mate. I'm telling you, it's no joke.
Yes, yeah.
Man rolling. He's rolling. Good evening. How you doing? Good evening, my brother. Trim. Nice to have you on board again. Blessings, my brother. Man says, I believe our front three was passing too poor.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that.
agree.
Some of the top players couldn't be asked. Trent, Salah, Szoboszlai should have been subbed off. Oh,
I agree with that, to be fair.
and man, don't worry. I see that comment. We will be getting to that. Most definitely. Do not worry. We will be getting to that. The game was done when Mac went off. Yeah, we know, man. Yeah, he just has this habit. You know what I mean? Just something in him, mate. Just has this habit. Him and his ironing board. I tell ya.
I know. Well, look at that.
Prince. So I'm going to let you not know why Prince was late. By the way, he said he was in negotiations with Jordan Ibe. So I just want to know, how did it go, and did you sign him for a tenner?
Well, I was hoping that you weren't sure with his name, because then other teams wouldn't know. But it's all right. Don't worry about it. Hey, listen, we're talking, and we're going to continue talking, and the manager's going to continue talking, and see what happens. You never know. But you know what? It's like we've had a previous Liverpool player at Hazen Yedden. Phil Babb was previous manager, so we have got Liverpool connections.
Okay. So you heard it here first, people. Here's a scoop, man.
What's it? IndyCar scoop, boy. Indicator scoops.
Scoop.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But Preds, you know, what would be the biggest scoop
So,
if you can get that player to come on the show.
Listen, that was coming next, bro. That was coming next. Trust me. I'm just waiting for the deal to done. Once that ink's trying to pay for like Prince, that's your next move. Is to get him on the show.
yeah. Well, listen. I will continue to negotiate, and once the ink is dry, fingers crossed, if that happens, then that'll be my next move.
Okay. That man makes a good point. Says it's hard to judge when we haven't seen enough games. I think we're being a bit. What's the word I'm looking for now?
Over. So what you mean? Forest game?
What do you mean? Because like we said, look, what's it, 5 games in?
No,
Thank
we're
you,
not.
Artie.
We're not. Because I tell you what, just
Wait.
quickly, Stoney. I think context is important, and like I said, they've been primed to play a certain way by Klopp, and they've almost just like forgotten what manager wants. It happens. However, if we take lead from Slot, he has been cutting them. The man said in it is unforgivable to drop points at home against a team like Nottingham Forest. He said that post game against AC Milan yesterday, post match again. He says it's unforgivable that we can play like we did today and lose to a team like Nottingham Forest at home. So that's Slot saying that, the manager saying that. So I think we're well in our right to be cussing the team, bro, because he said that twice now. So there's high standards, man.
I think it's good to have
I
high.
agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's good to. I think it's good to have high standards. I think it's a situation that Slot has spoken about and clearly identified during his press conferences. And yes, it was a massive disappointment. Last week, I said that we was going to win 4-0. That went wrong. So, I just think as supporters, I think we've got to trust the process. I think there's these sticky periods during the season, And I mean, look, if we lost the first three games, it'd be a completely different conversation. We've won the first three games. And the game against Forest, it wasn't like we weren't peppering them. We weren't having shots on target or anything. It was just one of those games that we could have been there all night and we wouldn't have scored. It was felt like one of those. And someone said the comment about if we don't score early. I mean, imagine if Luis Diaz scores and not hits the post.
Different game. Good point.
Different.
Yeah, but this is where we need to be clinical, man. And that's why you need to take your chances. And that's where you're hoping that when you have these players that are at the, these elite players, that's what you're hoping for. That you take them chances. Because it's like there's been said, we have players down the lower the food chain. You know what? They scrap hard, man, because they know they don't have the same abilities you know, but they scrap hard. They give it all a heart and all that. So you have to, when you get them chances sometimes, that could be the 1-2 chances that you get in the game. You need to take them, man.
Yeah.
I'll be taking them. And then
I agree.
As an example today, all right. So Arsenal haven't played great, but they didn't concede. And
I think that's the point. Just because we didn't play well doesn't mean that we had to lose the game.
Thank you. Don't lose.
Yeah.
For me, a draw would have been a bad result, but you know what? We didn't lose.
And we're not in the cave.
Yeah.
Hashtag
that's another thing.
And Dre, man in the cave, man in the cave. Shut up, you're in 13th, bruv. Shut up.
Don't chat to me, bro. Don't chat to me, man. Seriously. So we could say is that sometimes you might have to look at it as well as a good thing. You know what? You're brought back down to reality, taken down a peg or two. You have to realize, say, boy, you know what? All right, that was a wake-up call. You know what? We have to be on this thing going forward. Have to be on this thing. You get me?
It was a wake-up call for the team and for the supporters in regards to the transition. It seemed like it was going very seamlessly, and it just goes to show the players can't relax, because the one time that not saying that they did relax, but the one time that we're not on form or we're not playing well, like you say, if you're not playing well, you don't concede, you don't lose the game, and we lost the game. Right.
Big players do get protected too much when they need constructive criticism.
100. Salah was garbage. Like, let's just not like I don't want to hear about what he's done in the past. He was garbage, bruv. Like, if you're telling me you want 350 grand a week, bruv, like, I didn't see more than that. And there needs to be a situation moving forward. If you're putting up performances like that, then you need, then come off. And like, I want to see Slot have the courage of his convictions. The way he was a bit shabby with players like Kwanzaa, fair enough, he's not an established player. But if Mo's doing that again and Chiesa's primed, I want to see Mo coming off. Simple as.
Well, I think now he's got the player, he can do that.
Yeah, simple as.
He's got the player, he can do that.
You can't be beating your man and then you're just shooting, you're not passing. He was just doing nonsense.
My expectation this season is top 4. Any trophy is a bonus.
That's quite interesting. So, Artie, if you can just go back to the person, was that Debs? Back up. Debs, thanks once again for tuning into Cop Talk. Don't forget to like Debs. So cool. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the thing here, Debs. If you come on the show and you said that you would like the expectation for us to finish in the top 4, if you would mind just putting in the comments who you believe the 3 teams you think are going to finish ahead of Liverpool this season.
Yeah, he didn't say
we're going
to come 4th, you know. He said we're going to be in the top
within the top 4.
Yeah.
But listen, that means that don't mean good to me. That means we're meant to come first. So that means that order don't really sit. My balance is a little bit off there as a Liverpool supporter.
Listen.
If you're saying you expect us to come first, then put us first. If you're saying in the top 4, then what teams you expect to be in front of us and in what order?
It's Arsenal and City, really, isn't it? But realistically, fans have to realise this season, and I know it's not, say, the way you want to win, but there's a high probability this season that second wins you the league. Because Man City must get deducted points this season, surely. And if they do, second place wins you the league.
It's done then. Put them down in the lowest league properly.
CW saying I predicted 3rd and FA Cup win.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good season. Klopp's first season.
First season.
You take
I
that.
agree.
I don't
It's
Arsenal
good
feeling
for-
above us.
Van Man Rolling saying, I agree, it's good for the head coach to set the standard. This squad is good enough to challenge. The question is, can Slot get that extra 5% out of players to get us over the line? I think it might be a bit more than extra 5%, to be honest.
Agree.
I mean, is it one of those where we can start judging Slot when he starts getting his own players in, or and has he is able to have a lot of time to implement his philosophy, or was it a case of we're judging him right now?
Judging right now, we're a massive club. We're not anybody like Man United where they're willing to wait 10 years for anything to happen. Judging right now, if he would have known what the conversation was about. He would have known the changing in all of our recruitment staff, our player development, anybody who's bringing in a new sporting directors, XYZ. We're aware that he only had an opportunity to have the 5 preseason games because a lot of players were away on international duty, whether that was with the Euros or in Copa America. The thing is, for me, and the reason why I'm saying that, if we're not going to judge him now, Pep and Arteta and them look down at Aston Villa are going to run away from us. Brother, we ain't no little club where you come with your L plates. It's either he's ready or he's not. So I'm judging my brother right now. Right now.
I like that story. It's true. We ain't no little club. I said, don't come with your L plates in there. I like that. CW says City ain't getting punished. Let's be real. It's like a kid doing a bad thing, but only being put on the naughty step for 5 minutes. Then he's playing his console again. We did it. You know what? It's true, man. But he's saying, I agree, they should be punished if guilty.
Yeah, man, but it's like when you're talking about 115 charges, like how? What I want to ask you know is how they allowed Man City to get to a position. Oh, sorry. How do they let a situation get to this point where clubs being charged with 115 different charges?
Preds,
like
the answer is for me. For me, the answer is quite simple, and I think the way that I've looked at it is this, right? Nottingham Forest and Leicester had some charges against them, and they were in a position to make sure they were in a good place afterwards. Man City's team, all of their lawyers, their barristers, solicitors, XYZ, they're more powerful, and in my opinion, have got way more knowledge than the FA, UEFA, Champions League, XYZ. If this Premier League thinks that they're going to be able to put any form of sanctions for Man City, they got another thing coming. Man City's lawyers and that, I think they're just sitting there, they're ready. These guys, I believe, know way more about the sporting law than the Premier League. Nothing is going to happen to Man City, Preds. Nothing. Believe me, nothing's going to happen to them.
No, they'll get a fine. I don't think they'll get fined. There's no way they can't do nothing at all. No way.
But Artie, watch this.
No way.
Fine, for me, that fine is going to be nothing. They've got so much. Even this, let's play devil's advocate, right? Even if the worst case scenario was they fine Man City £100 million, you know, Man City will just do a bank transfer straight away. That's not touching Man City. That means nothing to them. So the point that I'm saying, it's almost like a certain situation has happened with a certain celebrity at the moment, right? And we know who that person is. There's certain ways that you can clap people in their pocket and make them have to serve time for whatever offense that they've possibly committed. So the same thing going back to Preds. Listen, it's not like they did one offense, 115, brother. How much licks would you get as a young person if you were disrespectful to your parents 115 times? That's not a mistake, You know what you're doing. You know what you are doing.
I won't be here now.
You understand? So that's what I mean about Man City.
Times, I tell you that much.
Man City have stood in the Premier League's face.
Right.
Yeah. Man City have stood in the Premier League's face and saying, "Look, I'm going to show you my bare bottom. I'm going to commit every single offence, and there's nothing you can do about it." Premiership ain't going to be doing nothing. For me, it's just going to be all lip service. All lip service. Nothing's going to happen to Man City. Nothing that's going to happen to them that's going to hurt their pockets. There's not going to be any form of points deductions. There's not going to be anything that's going to affect their players or their club. Nothing. It's going to be all lip service.
Okay. So, Van Man Ronin says Slot gets a 10 just for bringing in the double pivot. Des B says, my reason is new manager. Some players return late from the Euros. He's just getting to know the players. Even the hierarchy upstairs is new and finding their way. I think we'll get third.
I think they're all very salient and important points. I think Stoney's is right to say that at Liverpool, there are expectations. So, yes, it's your first season, but this is an L place. But at the same time, I just think we have to give him time. Well, in terms of challenging or winning like the league, Champions League, I just think to hire a manager and give him one player is, that's not ideal circumstances for that manager to then be able to excel. Now, if your existing players are a perfect match for his team tactics, then it's a different situation. But I think we can see that there's a couple of our players who clearly are. But I just think so far it's been so good. He's created, I guess, stars in the sense of like Gravenberch almost, because the Gravenberch that we're seeing this season versus last season is chalk and cheese. So I just think so far his body of work's been impressive. Obviously, it's early days, but I think you have to allow the team in a sense to have that Forest performance, simply because I think it's always going to happen. Slot's not happy.
Let's put that one now behind us, that Forest game, and let's move on to another great night in Europe, as we're accustomed to. You know, well done, the boys. Started poorly, and we thought, is this going to be a continuation of the weekend? But you know what? Boys stuck with it, showed some heart and desire, some quality, and turned it round. And some players really did step up. Really did step up to the plate. We're not going to talk about those players just yet, gentlemen. All right, please just stick on the topic, because we are going to definitely get to that part. Slot made changes. You think this was down to the defeat on the weekend, or was he always going to change it?
Always going to change it.
What's happening to you, Prezi? You popped out and come back, son.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. You sound you're not as clear as last time.
Yeah, I know, mate. These dodgy headphones, mate.
Told you, brother.
I know, mate. I've got about 3 or 4. But anyway, I think he was always going to change it, and I think conceding first. I've got a bit of a thing for actually. I'm going to put to you actually. What do you think of the first of their AC Milan's first goal and the positioning in regards to? I'm not blaming Konate, by the way. I've just been having discussions. But what do you think of the Konate positioning in regards to? Do you think he should have closed the player down, or was he right to backtrack and wait for one of the midfielders, i.e. Mac 10, to try and put a challenge in?
I'm so glad you said that, Preds. But you know what? You're talking about phases of play. The phases of play actually came down from the left-hand side, which was look at the starting position of Tsimikas. Yeah. Konate would have been on the right-hand side. That phase of play where Pulisic came down was an AC Milan's right-hand side. So if anything, it would have been Tsimikas on that side and Mac 10 on that side. Tsimikas was way too hot, and Mac 10's position was too inverted. So look how long Pulisic had to actually travel with that ball. I mean, his finish was very, very good, and I have to give him that at the end. But I think there was more concern with Tsimikas than it would for me to be with Ibrahima for that first goal. That's just my thought process on that.
Yeah, Yeah, fair dues. I mean, like it for me. It was one of those where
Answer Artie's question, man. Answer the man's question, man.
You get me?
What was the question? What was the question again?
Dodgy earphones. Man went shopping and found a Tandies in her. That was me.
Kilburn High Road, old school.
Yeah. I'm telling you. I found it, you know when you found the ones in the basket outside the shop. They weren't even inside the shop.
That's bad.
You know what?
What is your original question, Artie?
I asked you, Slot was make changes. Do you think he was down to the defeat, or was he always going to make changes?
I mean, there's only two changes anyway. That was Tsimikas and Gakpo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But do you think he was down to the defeat, or what?
No, I don't think so. Robbo didn't have a good game against Nottingham Forest. I don't think Robbo's had a good start to the season.
Nobody did. They changed the whole 11
for whatever reason. No. I mean, in terms of that, if we're thinking about the left-hand side, we're thinking about the two changes that were made on the left-hand side that have been Tsimikas and Gakpo over that side. I think Diaz has played a lot of games. We know that he played a lot of games through Copa America, and he's played. Well, I can't say a lot of Premiership games because he's only been a couple games anyway. So I think that was more of a rest thing. But left back, Robbo has not had a good start of the season. And I know you've mentioned on previous shows before, Artie, the drop-off between Robbo and Tsimikas is just like, man, Robbo's whatever's going on in his life at the moment. His performances ain't at the level that he used to be. Cool, it happens. But the left-hand side for me, for Liverpool defensively, is a concern. And Tsimikas is just not the guy. He's not.
Get in ain't Nuri, mate. That's what I say. Get in bloody ain't Nuri. I said bloody Pulisic always scores against us, then goes missing. I said Tsimikas went for Lasagna. Tsimikas fought for me, suicidal. Desby says, agree with Stoney, Tsimikas was at fault.
I think Virgil as well. Don't get me wrong. Look, I think everyone knows how highly I personally rate Virgil. And don't get me wrong, Tsimikas' decision was crazy. But then Van Dijk has two choices, right? Do I back him up or do I hold my position because what he's done's suicidal almost? And I think Van Dijk almost backs him up rather than just realizing actually he's made a bad call. So I think if Van Dijk holds his position, then we don't get countered like that. But I wouldn't blame Van Dijk for it. It's definitely Kostas his mistake. But this is where I just think it goes back to the point. Kostas is not up to it. Robbo's now not up to it. The man needs new players. It's as simple as that. Sometimes the transfer market is the solution. It's just that's just what it is.
Okay. Versus Milan, we made a poor start, but the way we controlled the rest of the game, we made them look like a poor side. Oh, here he is. I knew he wouldn't be far away. Knew he was about somewhere. Trust me. That was shit against Milan. 2 crossbars. He's on 350k a week. I can't even finish. Pathetic, lads. That's probably going to be his one comment for the night, and then he goes missing. That's him. And he's like, Pulisic. Come in, does a thing, he's gone.
Mo was decent, man.
Van Man Road, it says Nuri's rubbish. Saying he can't defend. Big shouts goes out to Mr. Solo. Nice to have you on board, sir. Why you trying to wind us up, bro?
Wow. But you know what? Do you know what, Artie? We should grass on Solo, because Solo, you're tuning in, and I just want to say live on it, congratulations, sir, because we know that you come through.
Yeah.
And you're certified, you got your posts. So big shout out to you. But you shouldn't be out there representing in Tenerife, We're playing our tax here. You should be out here looking after our streets, brother.
I'm telling you, keeping us safe. Well done, Solo. That's the man from the Man United agenda.
Have a couple of shots on us, mate.
Yeah, he probably is, mate. Don't worry about that. Mate. It says Nuri is like having Trent at left back, but he runs instead of crosses.
I disagree with that one, but I take the point.
Motas kills me. I just come in, show Salah love, and leave. I'm gonna do it every show. We know, bro. You've been doing it every show. We know that. We know that, man. We know that. Yeah. We know that. Okay. So, Jota, player watch for this game here. Didn't have a good game against Forest. Didn't have a good game against Milan. Does he need a break?
For me, I think it's weird if Jota, right? Because if you're Slot, why is Jota in the team over Nunes? Is it his finishing, or is it his game IQ and I guess his link plays, understanding of positions, the rest of it? I think it's the latter. So I think he's not playing to his standards. His finishing is being pulled by his standards, but I think it's his kind of understanding of the system and his tactical intelligence why he's getting the shirt over Nunes. So I think he starts again, personally.
Ooh.
I don't think he needs to be clinical to be starting, basically.
I hear what you're saying. He's part of the jigsaw, basically. But he's had 2 poor games on the bounce. For me.
Yeah, so technically he's been a bit average with the ball.
Yes.
And his finishings have been lacking, but I still think he's doing things off the ball that Slot likes, and I still think he's making the right decisions. It does feel like he's in a bit of a rut though, so that's probably why I might take him out of the team. But as Stoney said, if I take him out, I'm not playing Timberlands. Nah, I'd move Cody up front. So
Timberlands, you know. Oh my days! All right, hold on there, Prince and Stoney. We're still gonna come back to that. Soda says he needed this holiday. It's been a long year. I know, man. I know it's been a long slog for you, man. I know you've been working hard. Simicast defending reminds me of Moreno. Make sure you all hit that like, subscribe, and share. Yep, for real. Des B says Jota one more chance against Bournemouth, no improvement, and then he should be out. Okay, so Stoney, does Jota need a break? Does he need to be replaced?
If a man needs a break after 5 games in a season, I think there's an issue.
No, I don't mean a break as in I don't mean a break as in it's tired. I'm talking about his performance.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
should he be dropped then? Sorry. Let's make that clear. That's what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with Doctor. I think that Gakpo is able to do or perform, sorry, I should say, the same role that I think Jota is able to. And it may just be that he needs to come in to see what the different impact is that Gakpo can do. So I think we're at home to Bournemouth next until we have West Ham and then we got West Ham in the EFL Cup. I think so. So yeah, I think we could keep the same starting lineup. Obviously, Robbo will come in instead of Simicast. But yeah, I just let Jota sit down on the bench and observe, and let Cody go in up front. I think that change would be really good. Something
that's the one.
It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting, right? And I'm glad you raised that point as well. I haven't been able to, like the thing that I miss is the player cam. It would be good to have a player cam on Jota to see what he's doing in game. Is he creating space for other players? Is he playing a different role than what he's used to? And the only reason why I mentioned about a different role, tactically, is Slot asking him to do something different as that number 9 or as a striker. So it may be that, don't get me wrong, he's meant to be scoring, but is he making decoy runs? Is he dragging defenders out? Is he dropping in midfield? What is Slot actually asking him to do? Yes, we want him to score and assist, but it may be something tactically that the manager's asking him to do. So I'm not sure. But your original question was Jota remain or Gakpo in, and I think Cody could come in for the Bournemouth game.
Only thing he's been dragging, mate, is his bloody heels in the last 2 games. I tell you, Preds. Does he need to be dropped?
I think Jota the shotter does not need to be dropped. Jota the shotter needs to be persevered with. He's clearly, tactically, knows what he's doing and assisted the team defensively. Yes, I was critical about him Saturday in regards to his chances. However, work rate and his ability, his work rate off the ball and his positioning in regards to our press, he understands it. He knows, and he's doing a lot of the work that people don't see. Yeah. And he's fortunately in that position where, as a number 9, they're judged on goals. Whereas, you know, yes, you've got to judge him on goals, but we also got to kind of appreciate the work rate that he puts in off the ball and on the ball as well, creating little spaces, going in little pockets, trying to run in behind. He's a bit of a pest, but a very football intelligent pest in regards to he picks up positions where defenders really don't want to go. If I'm going to be critical about him, I would say he just needs to be better holding up the ball sometimes. But I don't think he should be dropped, no.
Okay. So CW says the cup game versus West Ham will be a whole new lineup. And Desby goes and says Slot told Gakpo that he sees him as a left winger, so he won't play him up front. It will be Nunes for Jota. And then Van Man backs that we should replace Jota. Who should replace Jota, if not Nunes? Slot said he had 2 players at every position. So that means that Nunes will start, in my opinion. Gakpo is best on the left wing. Definitely saw some of that. I'll tell you that much.
But there was a bit like, when was it? Was it Tuesday? When did Nunes come on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came on Tuesday and he went for a run. And then at the end of it, it was kind of like, it was neither a shot nor a pass. It was just a scuff. And I'm just thinking to myself, all right, I know that he's a bit game rusty, but he had 2 options, either shoot on target or pass it square. Done neither. So I think I can understand why he's not starting at the moment. I don't think he's shown enough. Not saying that he's a bad player, not saying I'm not supporting him. I'm just saying that it seems like he hasn't done enough to warrant a starting position in training.
And this is the key point, Preds. I think everyone's talking about Jota, but the reality is the person who should be competing against him in Darwin is not putting up any trees at all. And when he comes on, looks washed. So he's not, like for me, he's not putting any pressure on Jota at all based on how he's playing. And I just think the point you made, Preds, is, yeah, look, I think since we've had Jota, his link-up play has always been a little bit inconsistent. He's always been quite dead-eyed, but that's been the part where it's been inconsistent. But he's smart. He's a thinking footballer. And I just think Slot wants a number 9 who has got a high level of IQ and tactical awareness and decision-making link-up play. He's technical. And if someone thinks that I've just described Darwin Nunes, then I've got some indication for you. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Definitely not, mate. I tell you, definitely not. Definitely. So after that performance then, does Gakpo need to stop?
Yes. I think Diaz has been very good, but look, I've been on Cody a few times saying he's a bit soft because that I thought Cody looked exceptional on Tuesday. That's what I'm talking about. San Siro, away from home, big occasion. The team goes a goal down. We're looking for somebody to just start taking the game to them. And in those types of conditions, the crowd are up, they're roaring. Cody said, nah, not today, bruv. And he was, yeah, you can't get dropped after play like that for me. You just can't. That was what I call an elite performance.
You know what? That performance on Tuesday night, it actually made me sit up in regards to, you know what? That's why we got him.
Yeah, big.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was a revelation, because it was like, is he a left winger? Is he a forward? Is he, he can obviously play in the midfield as well, he was used. But his performance on Tuesday definitely got me to think, right, that's the style of play that he's doing. He was very aggressive. He was intensity was a lot. It was a lot better, and his quality as well. You know, was a lot better in a high standard.
10,
So
10. Massive.
Okay. Right, Stoney. Before you say anything, Stoney, Van Man Ronin says Diaz is in better form, in my opinion. Stoney, does Gakpo need to start?
Yeah, but as you said, I just think he needs to start over Jota. So the front three could still be Diaz on the left, Gakpo centrally, and well, no Jota for me. So it could be Diaz on the left, Gakpo up top, and Salah on the right. For me, that could still work. That's what I would like to see anyway for our next game.
But you see, all right then. So we see, like we're talking about up top, because you know Chiesa can do a job up there as well, yeah. And you know that he's got techers,
and he's ready. He's ready.
Okay.
The only thing I'd say about playing Cody up front, I do think because of what Slot wants that number 9 to do, is it does feel like he wants them to have like number 10 type of characteristics. So I think Cody could do that, but I do think he clearly does prefer the left wing, and it's almost like if I look good playing left wing and you're gonna play me again, then play me left wing.
Right.
Don't kind of shoehorn me in, and then I don't play too well, and someone's like, you see, like you should have played Jota. I think we have to give him the best conditions.
Yeah. Give him the platform to perform. Yeah, that's the one.
But you know what might even be nice then, and as you guys are speaking about the different combinations, it may well be then Cody goes over into the left, watch the right, Salah goes in the middle, and then Chiesa goes over on the right hand side against Bournemouth. We don't know.
Or even Chiesa through the middle, or even Diaz through the middle. To be fair, who knows?
We've got options.
We've
got options.
You see, Uruguay have kept doing this. Uruguay boots with them. That's it does a job for them, mate. Cody and Lewis in comp for the left side. We need Chiesa to rival Salah for the right side. That's the kind of competition we need. If you want to win the big boy trophies, that is what you need. 100%. I'll definitely agree with that. All right, so the next one, the big debate it's been running since that game now. Who was the man of the match? Because everybody, one set's barred in this person, next set's barred in this person. How did you lot see it as the man of the match?
Cody.
Okay. Doctor says Cody. Why? Because you know other people are saying, and it was given to Gravenberch.
Yeah, listen.
But why Cody then?
If we're talking about their stories, then it's Gravenberch in a sense of we questioned him, or I questioned him incredibly last season. Is this guy up to it? He won 140 a week. You're a squad player. So for the season that he's had, for the criticism that he's had, to put in that landmark performance, I thought that was special. But I just felt that Cody's performance essentially for me won us the game, because I just think Cody disrupted their tactics more than anything else. And you know, sometimes it's like you might not necessarily score, but just through creating chances, it means that the team then starts losing confidence. The crowd gets quieter. And I just thought Cody just kept on skinning his man and just creating havoc for their defense. I just think he just made them just lose heart, and then showed quality, and then obviously then got his assist as well.
Okay, so Preds or Stoney, who was your man?
Go ahead, Preds.
I hear what Doctor's saying, but I'm not giving. I'm giving the non-league. I'm giving the man of the match to Gravenberch, and it's not because of his story. It's just because the detail in what he's doing in Garth the guy is doing his work. It looks like a man who knows what he needs to do, what his responsibilities, and what is like his ability at the moment. He seems like he's thriving, and for me, I think he's just continuing on this good kind of cycle of putting in some really good performances. I hear about Gakpo, but for me, Gakpo has done well. He just needs to do it consistently for me. And I know in regards to we're talking about one game, but I'll stop talking now and just say Gravenberch.
Okay.
I wouldn't argue with that at all. Like Ryan was, like, he was mint.
Stoney?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. As I said, I'm torn between Ryan and Dominic, actually, because I think, I'll definitely say that. Ryan, I think the thing that was clear to see this game is him playing that deep lying. I know he's got the pivot because he's playing with Mac 10, but the way that he was actually able to break the lines and actually play closer to Dominic this game, I've never seen that type of play from Ryan Gravenberch. I know there was up against, and I say this respectfully, he's up against Fofana and Loftus-Cheek in this game. Even though Milan scored quite early in the game, that's right, isn't it? Yeah, Pulisic scored early. Milan played, even though they played the same formation as us, they played very, very, very narrow. They weren't playing a wide 4-2-3 when they played very narrow. So the reason why it's, for me, it was between Ryan and Dominic. They managed to find spaces, like 1-2s in spaces, and kept linking up. I've never seen that partnership before. And I'm not saying they play individually, but the partnership between them two, I really believe was the key for us actually winning that game. So it's between them two. For me, I'm sorry, I can't differentiate between them. I just really thought they had a really, really, really good game, both of them.
Okay. Van Man Rolling, I see that question, and I will, you know what, I will get back to that. Don't worry. CW says Gakpo by a clear mile for me. Okay. Raman says Grav been cooking.
Oxdale still.
Yeah. Then she says Cody, but could also be Ryan or Dom. That's it. Is me and Stoney going to disagree again on something? CW, make up your mind, man. You just said Gakpo by a clear country mile, and now you said Gravenberch was a close second. How can be close second if it was clear by a country mile, bro?
You know what? Just
figure it out.
On Stoney's last point, do you realize? I don't know if you realise in the game, the one time that the midfield was disjointed, they scored the goal in the first minute. Since then, Gravenberch, Mac 10, Szoboszlai, they were all playing within 20 yards of each other. And that, like you said, that there kind of gave us the catalyst to actually control the game. And the one time that they were out of line, they gone and scored the goal. So you can see that in game, tactics, there's a tactics before the game, there's a tactics in game as well, which Slot's doing, which Slot's handling exceptionally well. And those in-game changes actually affect and impact the game.
Look who we got on board, gentlemen. It's Billy. Billy. Yes, Billy. People, in case you didn't know, you haven't seen it before. When we play Chelsea, Billy is normally what do you call it?
President
Chelsea. And he normally comes on and takes the stick. But well done, Billy. Nice to have you on board. So I hope all is well with you and the family, mate. Hope all is good. Yeah, do you know what? I'm still torn between Gakpo and Gravenberch. I am torn between the two, but I feel similar to Doctor. The way that Gravenberch was just dragging this team forward. I mean, Gakpo, sorry, was just dragging this team forward and just roasting this guy. Had him on toast. I think he just edges it for me. He just edges it for me.
Shame. I think listening to what Stoney was saying does make a good point. I think potentially Gravenberch's assignment was harder in that I thought AC Milan's midfield was dangerous because Though his career hasn't gone as we would have wanted it to, like because of his injuries, but Loftus-Cheek's one of the most complete midfielders around on his day.
Standard, yeah.
Naturally gifted, man. Naturally gifted,
and he's got everything you'd want. Like there's pure no diddies and pauses when you're talking about my man. He's strong. He's this. He's that. He's got the whole lot. His technique carries the ball. And Fofana starts for France. He's not a regular starter, but he gets games for them. And that Reinders guy, he's probably been one of the most impressive Dutch midfielders for the last probably 18 months or so. So I just think those three as a midfield were dangerous. And there was a high level of quality there. And as Tony said, they did play in a very restricted part of the pitch. But yeah.
Yes, Tony. And see, and Dom was he was playing then, innit?
Yeah, he was. He was able to play.
War Prowse.
No, listen, I'm saying, listen, I'm just calling it. I'm calling it as I saw it, sir.
Come on.
I'm calling it as I saw it, man.
Come
listen,
on.
Dominic heard me. I sent him a little DM on Insta, and he decided to step up, man.
Yeah, I think there's strong cases like for either. I don't think there's a wrong answer.
It was good to see Keza getting some minutes as well.
Yeah,
starting. So yeah, we know that. Yeah, man, the squad is starting to come together. What's Billy saying? Billy's saying, I think slot ball is a lot more attractive than clock ball.
It's different, isn't it? It's a bit more technical. I don't know if it's more attractive. I guess it depends on what you like.
It's more techie. It's more techie, definitely. So, gentlemen, one thing we are definitely going to discuss is there's been bags of talk about it. I've seen loads of WhatsApp videos going on around it. They're saying, be realistic, man. Forget the high hopes. Saying that Nunez is done out here. He's not what we need. They're saying he's definitely not what Slot needs. Now, maybe they were saying, what they're saying is, maybe you could have got away with that under Klopp because of the hustle and bustle and the way we might have played. But he said, now, the techers that's needed under Slot ball, right, that one's touched Preds, boy. Preds, don't cry. Don't be barding in the back there, bro.
Fred, you might be able to try and sign him, you might have to try and sign him. Say to him, like, you can play as you want. You can take 20 shots a game.
We might have a chance with Nunes as well.
You can take shots all game. You can shoot from anywhere. Halfway line.
I might see a few balls go past the window. Trust me. Yeah. So listen, I'm watching the videos and I'm actually listening to them. No, but the thing is, it's for me, it's not even people just like, you know, where people are just being spiteful or whatever. I'm listening to what they're saying and they're actually talking some sense. They're making some good points.
Yeah. You know what? The thing is, you know what? On one part, it wasn't Slot who got him in the club. It was the previous manager.
Yeah.
Previous managers got him in, and for whatever reason, started him, and then he started to tail off a bit. Me personally, I want every Liverpool signing to be successful. Every Liverpool signing to be successful. However, with the way the new managers come in regards to, it's a lot more tactical and a lot more game intelligence, and a little bit, and it's all about controlling football. Nunes has got two options. He can either work his nuts off to try and deliver what the manager wants, or it's going to be a case of, right, well, it's not quite worked there, you're going to have to move on. And I think he's in this. I think Nunes is in this predicament right now, where it's either shit or bust. You've got to go. You've got to be on the same page. And if he's on the same page, I think Slot will give him a chance. But then if he's not on the same page and Slot sees that he can't deliver, then I think it might be. And I'm not saying this because I don't like Nunes. I'm just saying in the circumstances, if he doesn't fit the new manager's style of play, I mean, it might not work out for him.
He says Benfica was his level. And the money that we paid for this guy. Yep. Motaz is still at it. We're talking about Nunes, bro. Nunes.
Yeah, but it's not a show unless Mo has been with a couple of times of hammering brother.
CW says, I wanted Nunes gone at the end of last season. 2 seasons was enough. Doctor, Stoney.
Stoney, go on,
These
Stoney.
people, what these people say about Nunes, is it true or come on?
No, it's not. People need to stop smoking the bushweed, yeah. My stance on Nunes has not changed one bit. Yeah. It hasn't changed one bit. We've got a new manager, we've got a new coaching staff. He needs time. What's the worst case scenario? He doesn't get as much game time, and then he either goes out on loan or he gets sold in January, he gets sold at the end of the season. I've got no concern. If we were a team that played with, say for instance, we're playing a 4-2-3-1, and we did not have a number 9, right? I would be a little bit concerned. But we've got an array of other forwards. So between now and January, if Nunes doesn't get any game time, the only thing that's going to happen is that his value would depreciate. But we still got enough options.
It has already.
So that in turn, I am not concerned about that. I'm not concerned one bit. I believe that he still needs time. I still believe that he still needs to understand tactically about the way in which Slot wants us to actually play. It may be that he takes a little bit more time for him to understand how Slot wants him to play. But look, we've got enough other players. Worst case scenario, right? Say, for instance, Nunes just doesn't get it. And every time he's trying to strike at Anfield, he's brocking my window down in London. He doesn't play. But we've got so many other forwards up there. It's not an issue. Believe me, I am not going to jump on the hype about Nunes. I'm not concerned about it one bit.
In London, hopefully, working with Nunes to change the way he plays. So, Doctor.
Yeah, for me, it's a tricky one because, look, I think I've always probably been a bit critical of Nunes, but I think I've also acknowledged when he's played well. I think the point you made, Artie, is the salient point. Does what Slot wants, does that correlate with Nunes' strengths? And I just don't think it does, personally. And I would almost say, if you were asking, I guess almost, let's say Nunes is able to do what Slot wants. I think that takes away from Nunes' actual game. I don't know how effective he then, he might become like a bit of a Heskey kind of like facilitator player. But I just think Nunes at his best, I just don't see how it fits with what Slot wants. But maybe Slot will adapt things to try to kind of incorporate what Nunes can actually give and maybe get like the best from Nunes. But I just don't see it, man. I look at someone like João Pedro from Brighton, and I think someone like that, I think that's what Slot wants. Somebody who can hold up the ball, but who's got techers, hold up play, can drift wide, can combine, got the pace running behind, but also the tactical intelligence and technical ability to play in tight spaces, but also accelerate and burst. I think that's
the finish.
Yeah, but again, I don't think it's Nunes' finishing and that's stopping him from getting minutes. I think it's just his all-round game and how he plays the game. I think if Nunes became dead-eye and started scoring from every chance that he gets, I don't think he starts. I think it's the other things that potentially stop.
Nah, I think if he's banging in goals, bruv, it's gonna be hard to leave him out. I'll tell you that much.
Do you think?
Look, agreed. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it's his finishing why he's not playing.
Nah, I think it's a contributing factor. I think it's a bit of both.
This is a bit of a what
ability, and to make it worse, you're not scoring as well.
Yeah,
you can't be both, bro.
A bit of an out there question. Do you think that Nunes would probably be more suited the way Man City use Haaland in regards to if you think about it, Haaland scores goals, but Haaland scored 40. Sorry, he touched the ball 14 times, 15 times, 90 minutes. Is Nunes that sort of player? Hello?
He's not that clinical.
I'll be able to answer that for you. Exactly what Artie said. The reason why I think that he possibly wouldn't be able to play similar to how Haaland plays for Man City is the clinical side of it. I think Haaland is one of these players that, you're right, it's a blink, one touch, one goal. At the moment, it doesn't appear that Nunes has those attributes. Does he play similar to Uruguay as he does play for Liverpool? Does anybody know? Has he got a similar role?
So I think the system's comparable. Obviously, like a 4-2-3-1, but I guess what Bielsa wants the number 9 to do is just a bit different. And I guess Bielsa ball is very similar to what Klopp does. It's like high intensity, it's pressing, it's high, it's chances, it's turnovers, it's energy. It's not what I'd call cerebral, or like it's not about precision. But obviously, like, those things are important, but I don't think they're as important. The Haaland point's a good question. I just think the thing with Haaland is I think he's got better feet than Nunes, and although he might not always look aesthetically good, but I think his feet are better one. And I just think he does what Pep tells him to do. Like he's like whatever Pep tells him to do, he's doing it. Because he gets frustrated and he'd rather the ball get into the box quicker, or he'd rather be making runs in behind. But you'll see him, he'll go to make the run, he'll almost like raise his arms up. Bernardo Silva will check back, turn, pass it around, and he just knows, okay, cool. And he just hold his position, stay here, and wait for the right opportunity. So I think he takes tactical instructions better. Yeah. And he's clinical.
So the League Cup game will be huge for Nunes, says Van Rolling. Chris W says, you say give Nunes time. He's had 2 seasons. South Clan has given 4 tournaments, 1-0. Nunes has failed. I'm not saying he's in end god category, but he's definitely nowhere near our elite strikers.
And that is a valid point by Chris. And that is the beauty of football. Because sometimes players are bought on potential, and sometimes the teams that players are at that just ain't their level. Sometimes, but we'll just see. We'll just see.
Consistent enough. And Des B goes on to say Nunes runs offside too much. He needs to refine his play. Bielsa in charge of you guys. Football is chaos. Yeah, you got that right, mate.
Okay.
You got Bielsa ball now includes going into the stand and having a fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Forgot that.
Yeah.
Forgot that. See if you can go and sign Cantona.
I'll just say just quickly on the Nunes thing. Like, there isn't any more time. This is the season. This is the season now. We can't be having, like, if I see a fan say on Twitter or on a fan forum, he just needs 2 seasons under Slot. Stop. No, that's 4 seats. Stop.
Yeah, no.
Stop. I think what might happen though is as Slot drills down his system and he's happy with how the players are passing from the back, build up plays, taking risks, then maybe he might be a bit more flexible than having his number 9 take a bit more risks with the ball, making runs in behind. So maybe he might adapt the system a little bit to suit what Nunes does as he then, I guess, coaches the team and he's more happy with what the team can do. So I don't think it's the end of the road for Nunes just yet, because tactically, Slot might ask him to start doing different things at some point in time. But right now, clearly, it's not a natural fit.
Okay. And final thing before we go, gentlemen. Zubamendi now saying, please, Liverpool, come and rescue me.
Zubamendi can go suck his gal, bro. Seriously.
Thank you. It's true. Frankie Doctor. It's true.
Nah, serious?
It's true.
Yeah.
Serious.
Hold on a minute.
Nah, serious.
I had to look twice when I make sure that was a mistake. You get me?
Nah.
Jeez. Yo.
All right, that's a short video that's going out Very soon.
Yeah. We need Prince, get on that.
Edit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zubimendi saying that you come and rescue me now, man. I think they've lost their last 3 games, and he's not happy. Van man, don't worry, Van man. I got you, man. Don't worry, I got you. Don't worry.
Is that so? I did see something. on social media regarding Zubimendi. Is that what it's all about? Is it?
Yeah. Now he's barring her out. Please, Liverpool, come and get me. I'm ready to come. It's all down to just for us to meet that 60 million euros buyout.
I forget it. Because I think originally, and as you said, you guys correct me on this, Liverpool had already met the buyout clause already. Liverpool had already met the buyout clause already. Hughes is aware of Zubimendi's agent already. Discussions and everything were positive. He mentioned that he wanted to remain in Spain. He had a young family. He wasn't ready for his wife and the young one to actually travel abroad. I think the thing is, Zubimendi would have been our main target for this summer. If he had any reservations come in, then the best thing for him to do is stay where you are, go to another club. I don't want him coming anywhere near Liverpool as a signing. It's either you want to be here or you don't. If the package is not right for you, then move on. We don't need him. And you know what? In hindsight, that was probably the best thing that could have happened anyway, because I wonder if we had bought Zubimendi, would Ryan be able to have been given the opportunity to play in a manner in which he has been doing now? So you know what?
It's a blessing in disguise.
You know what?
Says he agrees with Doc. Once you've turned us down, that's it. Yeah. CW says you can suffer and stay here you're at. Doctor's talking facts. You ready? F him. Yeah. They had no pay rise for the lad. Okay. So
just quickly.
I would go back and get him.
You would go back and get him?
Yeah.
What I would say is I do think we need him. I do think we need him because I do think we need someone like him, because I do think the key thing for slot system is being able to pass through the center of the pitch and pass through the lines. And although Ryan's been very good at breaking the lines through either his ball carrying, his touch, sometimes his passing, he's still not what you would call elite at passing through the lines. And I think for what we want to try and challenge for, I think we probably need somebody who can compete with Mac to kind of do a similar kind of job. So I'd almost see it being a Zubimendi or a Mac playing with a Gravenberch. But I just think on Zubimendi, why I'm so harsh on it, say we approached him and he says, look, I'm super tempted. Obviously, I've got strong ties with Sociedad, etc. But let me get back to you. And then he says, you know what, I've thought about it and I've decided that I want to stay. I wouldn't be too critical. But he's clearly told these guys, yes, I'm coming. Mm-hmm. Hence why they have released the story. So they've released the papers. So, and then he's changed his mind. That's what I can't forgive, because then you made Hughes look like an idiot. His first summer, we're getting clowned, but that's not even that. I just think Hughes is coming, his marquee signing, basically releasing it, and then you turn around and you just make everyone just look stupid. So for that alone, Zubimendi, stay in the clouds of what you're talking about, the scenery and what you got in the Basque Country, and stay there, bro. Stay.
I agree with Doctor as well. I don't know. I don't usually feel like I'm like this, but this signing I feel quite petty about. And
same.
I remember years ago. I remember we were linked with Lee Bowyer at one time, right? And I remember. No, watch this. It was so interesting. It was so interesting because we had approached Lee Bowyer. The package was right. He was having reservations about joining our club. And all I kept thinking to myself was, listen, I understand you're coming to perform a role in our midfield, but if you're having reservations about joining Liverpool, don't play football. I mean, and that's how I actually felt. Do not play football. That means you've got no interest in no interest in being a professional footballer. And that's the same thing I think about with Zubimendi. Stay out there and play in your blue and white in Spain and enjoy whatever you have to say. Don't come nowhere near Anfield. I will personally go up there and boo him. Don't need to come nowhere near our club.
And then the next thing, yesterday's price ain't today's price, bro.
Thank you. It's a Fat Joe thing, man.
And all that. Nah. Yeah. Like I said, my thing is this. I get it. Culturally, players from the Basque region, it's a different thing, innit? Like, they probably celebrate local players. When local players break through to the first team, it's very, very different. So I completely understand why he's chosen to stay. Where I get vexed is agreeing to the move and then changing your mind. For me, that's unprofessional. And you just made our club look a bit stupid. So that's why for me it's a no. Like, don't say yes and then you say no. What's that tune? First you say yes. Then, no, bro. No, there's no Rare Groove tunes up in here. There's not. No.
So you not
go.
All right. So,
but you not remember Steven Gerrard done exactly the same thing
with Chelsea.
No. Yeah. The only reason why Gerrard changed his mind because Couple Gunman went around his yard and said, "You ain't leaving." That's what the difference is. Those are just facts.
Couple top gangsters, mate, went round and had a word. You go down there, bro. You'll never play no ball. I'm telling you, straight up. All right, listen. Before we close, gentlemen, I did say, Grandman, he did pose a question earlier, and I will pose this one, and that will be the last one. Grandman did ask, if this was to be Salah's last season, who would be our main guy? Which is a good point.
Hold on.
Who then becomes our main guy?
Next season or?
Yeah, no, if he's to leave this, if this is his last season,
who
then becomes our main guy? That's what he's asking.
That's quite interesting. That's a really good question. So, because if we're looking at goal outcomes, there'll be an issue because I think if we look at the goals and assist ratio of our other forwards, and I think we probably have about 5 or 6, none of them collectively can touch Salah. But if we're looking at our main guy in terms of playing and who we're looking to look towards in terms of playing style, someone who I'm going to be relishing seeing then is Ryan. I know he's not going to have that output, but in terms of playing, I'm going to be looking towards Ryan. But if we're looking at goal outcomes, there's a big question mark there. There's a very big question mark.
Okay. Dr. Preds.
I'm going in the transfer market and I'm doing 2 things. Potentially selling Diaz. Sounds a bit mad, but I think he's at a good age. Obviously, if he has a great season, And I'm signing Nico Williams. So I've got Nico Williams and I've got Cody. And then Salah's actual replacement in the team. I'm going to West Ham. I'm getting my boy from Ghana. And I'm saying, bro, you come and play here. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Because I think what was really nice about the Milan performance was we can win in tough games against big teams and not have to go through Salah. Whereas against Forest, it felt like he was always trying to go through Salah. 20% dribble success rate is not good enough. So the fact that we could just say, okay, cool, Mo, you're not going to get any change out of their left back. What's his name again? I forget his name.
What's his name?
No, not Silva. It'll come to me. But Mo, you're not going to get much change out of him. So we're not even going to try and go through you too much. But Cody, you got your man on toast. You're the main outlet. And that's what I particularly like. It doesn't always have to be about Mo. So, yeah, kudos comes in for me. I might sell Diaz and I'm taking Williams. And that's how I would replace him.
FIFA career mode from Doctor.
I know, bro. Always there, bro. Release clause as well. £40 million release clause. Come on, fam.
The last comment on that topic.
Correct, yeah. Go for it.
I would say we're in a very unique position. We just won't have. I think me personally, I think we won't have one player who's going to be the main man. I think we've got a cluster of 3 or 4 who could be the main people. and that's quite refreshing. Rather than, yeah, you're absolutely right. Those Salah's goal output is phenomenal. However, I think you've got the likes of Gakpo, Diaz, Jota, Chiesa. You've got Szoboszlai scoring from midfield. You've got Matt Kenny who can score from midfield. Ryan Gravenberch starting to get a stranglehold. Then you've got Trent right back if he stays. So, like I said, I think we're in a good position where we've got a plethora of players who could take up that mantle.
Okay, there you have it, peoples. Yeah, there you have it. Okay, yeah, you're right. Des, could Chiesa be that guy? You never know.
Potentially, I think he's got a
never
quality. I guess his fitness
Come on,
records.
give Markovic another chance in that.
He's taking the piss.
Listen. Come on.
Lazar.
Peoples, I must say thank you very much for joining us, man. It's been a blast once again. We had a lot to discuss tonight, man. 2 games. Last before we go, gentlemen. Predictions for Bournemouth.
2-0. Liverpool.
Okay. Stoney, Prince.
Home and away.
Yeah.
I think we're home.
We're home. Yeah, we're home.
What happened against Forest?
Yeah, well, I said 4-0 against Forest, so I'm going to scale it back. I'm going to go a 2-0 win.
Okay. Stoney?
Yeah. Same thing. I agree with. I'm going with Predz's prediction. 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay, everyone says 2-0. Apart from CW, he says 3-0. Van Man Rodin, he says 2-0. I'm going to say big shouts to everyone. Thank you very, very much, man. It's been a blast. Doctor, thank you very much, my brother. All right, that's right. Mouth on a stick, Mr. Preds.
All good. Be safe. Be lucky.
Yes. You press the ironing board as well, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Bless.
Peace.
Damn, bro.
Tony.
These stood up from my nan, bro.
Brother Stoney.
Listen, it was good. Next week we're going to be talking about our fantasy league teams, though. I'm just putting it out there.
We can talk about that, man. Don't worry.
We could talk about it next week because I see a couple of you, man, them they're scraping the barrels, so we could be speaking about that next week.
Okay. All right, Desby. Man says 9 million. All right, people. Good night.